So your check engine light just came on, and I know exactly what happened next. You saw this and your stomach just immediately dropped. You start going through every worst case scenario in your mind because you have no idea what this light means. Because honestly, I've been there. You know, this check engine light could be your engine's going out, it could be thousands of dollars, or it could just be something simple. And I've been there, and I feel like most people watching this have also been there too. And low-key, I'm making this video right now because my dash is lit up. I have a Christmas tree in front of me. I can't even avoid that. Like I said in my last video, when I was replacing my lower ball joint, I completely destroyed my ABS sensor. So now we have to deal with these lights in front of me. You know what I mean? I lost traction control. I don't got ABS right now. I got all these lights, but my car drives completely fine and I know exactly what's going on. So when you know these things, you understand whether it's an emergency or not. And in this situation, I know exactly what I'm dealing with, and I'm gonna deal with it on my own time. And that's the whole point of this video, because the second that light comes on, for most people, they do one of these two things. It's either they panic or they ignore it completely. And both of these can be the wrong move. So before you do anything, make sure you watch until the end of this video, guys. And that being said, welcome back to Zigiwik, where we do these POVs talking about cars and money and a little bit of life here and there, man. Let's get right into it. So let's actually talk about what's happening when these lights come up on your dash, because honestly, I think a lot of people have no idea. Like, think about it. They just see the little engine icon and their brain immediately goes to the worst situation possible. And that is exactly what some of these shops are counting on. They want people to come in that have no idea, people that spend out of fear. Your car has a computer, and this computer is called an ECU. So basically what the ECU does is that it's constantly monitor all these sensors all over your engine, all over the car. And when one of those sensors reads something outside of the normal range, the ECU is going to then log a fault code, and that's going to turn on the light on your dashboard. That's literally it. It's just your car saying, hey, one of my sensors noticed something. You might want to look into it because it could potentially be very, very bad, or it might just not be anything at all. You know, a lot of cases, this is not your car saying you need to pull over immediately, call a tow truck. These are two different things, and you need to know a little bit of differences here and there. So the first thing you need to know, and this is really important, guys, there are two types of check engine light situations, and these are not the same. The first one, and the most common one amongst many people, is going to be the solid check engine light. And this is steady, it comes up on your dash and it just stays there. And this is just telling you that something needs attention. So recently I had a check engine light and it was on there because of a faulty gas cap, and I don't even know what happened. It just corrected itself. I ordered another gas cap, and before it came, the check engine light was already gone. But this comes up for things like emissions. You know, if your cats go bad, you're gonna get a check engine light, things of that nature. You know, it's not something that you need to drop dead and call a tow truck, but it's something you need to keep in the back of your mind, and you need to get to it as soon as possible. And then we come to the flashing check engine light, and this is where, you know, your car is telling you that something is happening right now and you might be cooked. And a common situation when you get that flashing check engine light is when you're having a misfire when the car is running. This is, I mean, man, I've had a misfire once because of a bad coil pack, and it sucks. It really does suck. And I feel like the thing about a flashing one is that you feel it. Like when you're having that misfire, you feel it while it's flashing. So it's not like the solid ones where it's like you see it, you can kind of forget about it. Once it's flashing and something is going bad, you have to address it. So let's get into what some of these common codes actually mean. The single most common reason that the check engine light will ever come on is gonna be the evap code. And what this means is that there's a very small leak somewhere in your system that contains your fuel vapors. So like I said, my bad gas cap. Essentially, the engine light came on because it's saying that this gas cap isn't sealing the evap system properly. So that means that fumes can be leaving out through that gas cap. So I gotta get a better one. Or it could be a crack hose, or it could be things like a faulty purge valve. Make sure you get an OBD2 sensor and scan it and see what it actually is to make sure it's something serious or not. And the second common is gonna be the O2 sensors. And trust me, I've had it on this car also. Your car has O2 sensors before and after the cats. What these things do is they monitor the exhaust gases. So when one starts reading outside of the normal range, that light is gonna come on. And if you have a faulty O2 sensor, that can affect your fuel economy. And if you leave it long enough, it might cause more issues downstream. But this is not like a serious situation. I mean, honestly, I'm not proud to say it. I had a bad O2 sensor in this car for like over a year, and I drove it. I had no problems. And you also might get a couple things here and there like mass airflow sensor codes or throttle position sensor codes or spark plugs, bad ignition coils. You know, bad ignition coils, these can cause misfires. Misfires are bad. So, you know, some things you want to do your preventative maintenance. If you buy a car, you don't know when the last time the oil coil packs or the spark plugs were changed, go ahead and change it. Save yourself the trouble in the future and just go ahead and knock it out right now. The point I'm trying to make is that most of the codes that turn on that check engine light are just maintenance stuff. Like, it's not something that your car is going to blow up. It's just no different than an oil change light. Your oil change light comes on, you can still drive it, but you should probably get that oil change right now. So it's like a lot of people stress, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not that serious. So what are you actually gonna do first? Let's say you get the code red, but before you call anybody, before you go to a shop, before you start looking online, you need to get the code. And your first option to get this code red is gonna be at regular parts stores. You can go to AutoZone, O'Reilly's. Me personally, before I bought my own OBD2 plug-in thingy, I went to AutoZone. Went to the guy, like, yo, I got a check engine light. They come outside with their tool, they plug it in, they scan it, they go back inside, they print you a copy so you can then take that and do whatever you want with it. But it's a great way to get a diagnostics for free. But if you have a car, I recommend just get your own scanner. So whenever you have a code, it doesn't matter where you are, if you're within the vicinity of an AutoZone or not, you can go ahead and scan that engine to give yourself a little bit of peace of mind, man. It is worth it. And they're not even that expensive. You can pick one up on Amazon for like 10 bucks, 15 bucks. Just save yourself the time and hassle and get your own. And once you have that code, you need to make a decision. You're gonna take this code, you're gonna go on Google, and you're gonna search it up. A lot of people before you have had the same code, or a lot of times Google will tell you what this code meant from the owner's manual. And let's say you have an exhaust leak. Obviously, you wanna take care of that, but it's not that serious. So you know in your mind, like, okay, I have an exhaust leak, I don't have to stress that much. If you're having a misfire, then you're like, okay, I need to get to AutoZone as soon as possible. You know, if you're somebody that knows nothing about cars, this is the moment where you're gonna save a lot of money. Because I'm not saying, I feel like a lot of people are gonna take this the wrong way and be like, oh, I'm recommending people to not maintain their cars or things like that. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying is that you should never be trying to go to a mechanic shop when you're desperate. Scan the code, see if it's something that's really, really important or not, and then go from there. Obviously, if you're having a misfire, you have no choice. You gotta go to any shop you can get. But if it's something like an exhaust leak, take your time and figure it out and look around and find somewhere reasonable to get your exhaust work done. And while we here, let's go over a couple other lights just to give y'all an understanding of what they mean. Because I know that some of y'all clicked on this with something other than an engine light, and that's really all I went over. So let's get into some variety. The main one I've seen other than the engine is gonna be the oil pressure light. And it looks like a little red can of oil. And if this comes on while you're driving, just pull over. Other than misfires, you do not want low oil in your engine. You don't want to be starving your engine of oil. That's how you blow it up, really. So you're gonna want to pull over and check your oil levels, because this light is one of those lights where when it comes on your dashboard, you want to treat it like a real emergency. You know, pull over, turn the car off, and check your oil level. Second one of these common ones I'm gonna talk about is a battery light. And your car is probably still drivable short term if you get that battery light, but you're gonna be on borrowed time, because the battery light normally means that your alternator is bad. Your alternator charges your battery while you're driving. So if your alternator is bad, your battery is never gonna get charged up in your car, and then one day you're gonna go to work, you're gonna come out in the morning, you're gonna go to your car, and it's not gonna start because you have a bad alternator. So although your car might start now, when you have that battery light, make sure you get that checked on soon. And it's always when you really need the car, that's when it's gonna die out on you. So just be careful of that. And another one is a TPMS light, the tire pressure light. Me personally, whenever I go to a shop and I have to change my valve stems, I do not get another one with a sensor inside of it. So my TPMS light is always on. It was on in my Civic, it's on in this. I'm old school. I like to walk around my car and just check the tires. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, I feel like it's so hard to drive unknowingly with a flat tire. It's like, bro, come on. I see all the time, and it's like, there's no way these people are actually thinking. It's not that hard. Just go around, check your tires if you have that on. But this is strictly just your tires, so there's nothing to really stress about. Just look around and put air when needed. And the last one I'm gonna talk about is one of the amazing lights on my dashboard right now, and that's gonna be the ABS light. And this one is personal to me. Like I said, said, I have it on right now. If you're in those situations where you're in heavy rain or you're in the snow and you step on your brakes and you feel the pedal fighting back, that is ABS trying to stop your wheels from locking up, because you're gonna get more traction to your tires while the wheels are moving versus if they're locked up and you're just skating down a hill. So this is something you want to get fixed as soon as possible, because if you're driving in the rain especially, you want to have this, because you don't want to rear end a random person. You know, me personally, I'm gonna change mine this weekend. But yeah, something that it's not like you gotta pull over and not drive until you fix it, but just be a little bit more on the careful side. I know that an engine light can feel scary when it comes on, especially if you're somebody who has no idea how cars work or how to work on cars or how the car even functions. But if you made this far into this video, I need you to lock in, guys, please, before you bring your car to a shop and overspend on things that didn't actually need to get fixed. You know, I know that gut reaction is either going to be a panic or ignore it, but both of these are the wrong move. You know, the move is to get the code, understand what you're looking at, and make a decision based off your understanding. Go to AutoZone, get a free reading, and make your decision based off that. And guys, we're gonna wrap up this video on that note. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I hope y'all cars are good. You already know I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. Make sure you buy TSX and travel. Make sure you're not overpaying to fix a simple code. Understand what's happening with your car. The sooner you do it, the sooner you will actually understand and learn over time. So make sure you focus on that, guys, and that I'm gonna catch y'all next one. Peace.